everyone, welcome or welcome back to Jen's Hangout. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're returning, I'm Jen. I love you guys so very, very, very much. You know that. I totally did that backwards. How many times have I done that intro? Wow. I need more coffee, right? Well, what do we got going on today? It is a Talk About It Tuesday. So, hair up and all. We're going to do skincare per the usual. And I'm going to work on my hair a little bit while I'm talking to you guys about this absolutely lovely subject that we are all so fond of. If you are mid to late 30s and up, which is perimenopause. Ugh. I am dealing with it right now, as are many of my friends. Obviously, we're all the same age, or around the same age, pretty close. Perimenopause can start very early in life. It really can. So I'm going to be on and off with the glasses to try and read the computer screen at the same time. Sorry if I made a bunch of noise there. Okay, so this is from the Mayo Clinic. Perimenopause means around menopause. They're just so descriptive, right? Now, I guess I should go back and kind of give you guys an update, because you know that I had to go in for my surgical consultation. If you watched my Get Ready With Me in the car, we were on the way to the surgeon's office, which is 4 hours away from where we live. I just did my mask Monday, so my face is feeling delicious. I did a mask. I did a brightening mask, and I feel really good, right? But now I got to do the rest of my routine. You know? Yeah. Find the right products, right? Okay. Lord. Oh, I put too much stuff on my face. Not really. I do 3 serums, well 4, because the azelaic acid is kind of it's classified as a serum, but it's more of a lotion. So I like to mix that with my facial oil. So, and this isn't a facial oil. This is EUK 134 something plus, I think is what it means. That is the chemical equation for it, and it is a 0.1% solution, water-free, high-potency antioxidant for your face. And let me tell you, this stuff, the 3 that I use, this concoction, right? 1 is from the Inky List. These 3 are from the Ordinary. I'm telling you, you do not have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on good skincare. You really don't. Now it looks like I'm doing a skincare review. And then I'm still stuck on this cream. But I use the niacinamide with zinc. This helps with my pores. It helps with my blemishes, because if I don't keep them under control, I will look like a pepperoni pizza with extra pepperoni, with extra salami, and any other kind of red, round meat you can think of. That's what my face will look like. And I'm cool. I don't ever want to go back to that. I used to have really bad cystic acne growing up, which is hormone related. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about that a little bit. One of these days, for Talk About It Tuesday, I will go in depth on how I treated that with natural remedies, because birth control pills, that is a whole different realm of don't piss me off. Spirulactone and metformin is not the proper treatment for that. Women's health, I have struggled with this all of my adult life. I struggled with it drastically as a child as well and in adolescence. But I became my own advocate right after I got married. And I got married when I was 20 years old. So 9 days before my 21st birthday. And we were trying to have a baby, and that's when the whole thing started. So, hormones play a huge role in skincare and how your skin is and how it looks. Like, see, I have this dark spot here, and then my chin is a little bit darker than most. I have to shave on the regular, and I don't do it because I want smoother skin. I have to do it. It's called I forget. I'll look it up for you guys when I do the PCOS thing. Anyway, but I have to shave, and that causes a lot of this redness that I have. And it doesn't matter what product I use. That just happens. But this azelaic acid, game changer. And then I use Matrixyl. I use a full dropper. And I know they say pat your face, but I rub it all over my hands. And smear. So, and I pat and I smear. And you want to allow like 30-ish seconds between each serum. So, enough about skincare. Let's get into perimenopause. Because, as you guys know, I went to see the surgeon last week. That 8-hour turnover round trip, well, it's actually a little bit longer because by the time you go to the doctor, it's 4 hours there. You go to the doctor. It was an hour-long consultation and exam. And of course I had to walk around. This is the Matrixyl. I use a whole dropper full. By the time you do all that, and then of course you got to eat something, and even if you stop and eat cheap, which I have a link down below for my Fetch app. You guys use that. Even if you don't use my link, use the Fetch app, because I had a $35 gift card for you had $35 in gift cards for Applebee's, and they have lots of other restaurants, but we were able to go to lunch and it didn't cost us a dime. Well, we left a tip. I think it cost us like $10 with the tip and everything. And that's just from scanning your receipts, and you can hook up your online accounts. Like, sorry, this is so, I need to get out my other bottle. It's Ebates. This is the last of it. It'll go into the empties pile, which I'm going to do a whole video just on empties, because I got like 7 months worth of empties over there. But we went through some stuff. Oh, I forgot I like to mix my azelaic acid with my EUK. This is just, and I only do 1 drop of that. I don't do a whole dropper full. That would be way too much. Anyway, so it was 8 hours plus probably an hour for lunch, and so it was a 10-hour day, and most of that day was spent sitting in the car. And as we all know, that is, my hands are sticky. But the surgeon wants to run some more tests, which I don't blame her for that at all. She wants to do a CT scan with contrast, and then she wanted something else. Oh, she did a pelvic exam. She did a pap smear and stuff. Tell me when, ladies. When did they stop using razor blades for pap smears? If you know what I'm talking about. Because the gal used this brush that was tapered like this, And it was silicone-ish, and it looked like the kind of brush hairs and stuff that I use for my silicone barbecue brush, my sauce brush that I use for cooking. Just tapered right. It wasn't that big, obviously. I mean, it was only like yeah big. But anywho, so she did that, and then she wants the CT scan with all the contrast. Like I have to drink the barium and do the injection and all of that. So I'll probably be a little out when they finally call me. I can do that here, luckily. But when they call me to do that, I'll probably be out because I don't react well to the dye. Plus, with my diabetes and my bad kidney, I was born with a bad kidney. I don't know if I told you guys that. It takes me a few days to recover from that stuff. So, no, that's not it. Do I not have a backup bottle of my azelaic acid? Oh, shite. I'm gonna have to order that this week. I could have sworn I had one in here, but I don't. Shit. Excuse my language. Well, I guess we're gonna pull this into the rotation instead. This is the polyglutamic acid. It helps lock in moisture for smooth skin instantly. It's literally for every single type of skin tone. It is considered a serum. Maybe that's why I didn't buy another one right away, because I'm trying to use up what I have. So, because I have so much stuff, it's kind of stupid. Oh, I like the bottle. So this is also from the Inky list. So I guess we'll be trying this. See how we like it. Oh, I like the little pump. That's cool. Anyway, so that'll kind of put me out of commission for a day or so. No big deal. But she wants to make sure, one, that there's not any more cysts, because the cyst that I have is on the right side, and it's, I want to say about that big. Let me see here. That's inches. That's inches. I thought this had centimeters on it, but it doesn't. It's just an inch tape. Well, let me do a quick conversion. Hold on. Okay, so my cyst is that big, right? By that big. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe like here. So it's about the size of a softball, if not a little bit bigger. Grapefruit. So it needs to go. It's not the biggest one I've ever had. It's definitely not the smallest. But and that's on the right side, right? And it's kind of pushing against my bladder and my back and causing all kinds of problems. But I've been having similar pains on the left side, so she's concerned that I have something over there as well. Because the only reason we found it this time was because my regular doctor was doing a CAT scan for my hip, because my hip's been acting up. Well, this is why my hip's been acting up. So there we go. Anyway, so that's the update on me, and I will keep you guys updated as far as that is all concerned. Now let's do a quick definition of we're at 14 minutes, so I'm not going to keep you much longer, maybe about 10, if that. Now that my skincare's done and I've rambled on with my ADHD-ness. So, the definition of perimenopause is around menopause and refers to the time during which your body makes okay. Like I said, I am reading this from the Mayo Clinic. I will link that down below so you guys can go and actually read it if you want to. It'll have links and all kinds of stuff to further. Okay, so this refers to the time during which your body makes the natural transition to menopause, making the end of the reproductive years. Perimenopause is also called the menopausal transition. Wow, say that 10 times fast. Okay, so women start perimenopause at different ages. Now, this also depends on, I don't know if they'll touch on it here, but our generation, Generation X and Zennials, not so much the millennials. The later millennials, yes, because it really is the mid to late 30s. So it just kind of kisses on you guys, just a little bit. But the effects of it won't. Because like my mom, when she went through menopause, it lasted probably about 10 years, her full process. Perimenopause to postmenopausal. Now she's postmenopausal. She went through all of that within about a 10-month period. Okay, well, with PCOS, for one, that gives me a ding. So I am already predisposed to early onset menopause. I was experiencing hot flashes like nobody's business when my hormones were really going absolutely apeshit. When I was about 26, 27, that's also when I decided no more birth control. I was done. I was absolutely done with any kind of hormonal treatment because it just made things so bad. And the only reason that they were giving me the birth control wasn't because we were trying to not have a baby, because it was the opposite. We tried for a long time. We tried infertility treatments and everything that we could possibly afford at the time that was accessible to us, we tried. And we've even tried to go into being a foster parent and all that stuff. And that's a whole different ballgame of what happened with all that. If you guys want to hear about our foster care journey, I'll let you know. It's a 1-episode thing, but it is a whole different story. But so about 27-ish is when I started. The hormones that are in our food, so any kind of animal product that gets hormones injected into them will then transfer to you. You are literally what you eat. So not chickens or eggs. Chickens, well, no, I shouldn't say that. They made it illegal many, many, many years ago to put, to give antibiotics to chickens on a regular basis like they do cattle. Pigs cannot get a lot of the conventional treatment, but they get a lot of other treatments that are just as bad. So, but the hormones and chemicals, the phytoestrogens, soy is probably one of the worst. Matcha, stevia, the things that they tote are good for you are really not. They're not good for your hormones. And you want to try really hard to avoid them at all costs. But women start perimenopause at different ages. You may notice signs of progression towards menopause, such as your periods will become irregular. If they weren't irregular already due to endometriosis, PCOS, any of that kind of stuff. Excuse me. If you're super regular, then you'll start to notice your periods start to change. Sometime in your 40s, but some women notice it in their mid 30s, and that can happen. And that's where I was getting at with the Gen X and the Zennials and some of the older millennials. Why am I saying this? Because in the 50s, the late 50s and early 60s, so post World War II, Korean War era, and the beginning of Vietnam, is when they started to introduce things like, and please don't take it as I'm anti-vax or I'm anti this or I'm anti that. I'm just giving you what actually happened in our American society and diet. Things became more convenient. That's when TV dinners and fast food burger joints started to come out. They started adding more preservatives to our food, more chemicals to our food, all of these things, vaccinations, more modern medications. If you look back post World War II especially, and it happened more in Britain than it did here, but the advent of the very first forms of birth control caused severe birth defects. I mean severe birth defects. As well as there was another medication that caused major birth defects, like flipper arms, things like that. And you can look it up. It's all there. But that's when things like that started to happen more often, and became more prevalent in our diet. You see how thin and dry this part of my hair is? So I've been trying to just kind of let it grow out so that I can really start anew, because I don't want to have short hair. Anyway, so that's also when women started to have worsening menopausal symptoms. So like my mom, she was born in the early 60s. She didn't have those problems because that wasn't part of her life. The only vaccination my mom ever got was a smallpox vaccination. And she was in middle school when that happened. So, she wasn't exposed to all those chemicals like our generation has been. And because of that, her menopausal symptoms were not as severe as our generation is going to be and are experiencing. An early onset menopause really wasn't a thing back then. I mean, it was, but nothing like it is today. So, what it is, perimenopause, in a nutshell, we'll get into more about it on the next Talk About It Tuesday. The level of estrogen in your body rises and falls with your normal cycles, right? Well, during perimenopause, that's when things, 1 month your estrogen levels can be way up here, and the next month they'll be way down here, and that is part of what causes the irregular menstrual cycles and the mood changes, the hair loss, itching in your inner ear, things like that. So and generally when you start to lose your periods completely, not irregularly, but if you go 12 consecutive months without a period, that's when they consider you to be in full-blown menopause if you don't have previously existing issues. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, you can go a year, you can go 2 years, you can go 3 years without a period, then boom, all of a sudden you'll have one for 9 months. So, in the next Talk About It Tuesday, we will get into the symptoms. That's kind of the definition of perimenopause and me babbling about what's going on. Next Tuesday, it will be all about the signs and symptoms of perimenopause and what you experience and things like that. And then we'll go from the Mayo Clinic all the way down to, I want to hear about your guys' experiences with it. I'll give you my experiences with it, all of it. So, come hang out with us. These are the no topics that we're going to be talking about because it's important. Be an advocate for your health. If you feel that something is incorrect with your body, but your blood tests keep coming back normal and your doctor's like, there's nothing wrong with you, you're fine. Keep pushing. Think of it like this. Doctors, every time you go to the doctor, they are in a job interview, not you. You're the interviewer. They are the interviewee. And if you don't like what they're telling you, say, I want a different doctor. I don't feel that you can treat me effectively. I need to find somebody else. Don't be afraid to say that at all. You be an advocate for your health. That is the most important thing you can do for you. That is the best kind of self-care and self-love there is to be your own health advocate. With that said, I love you guys so very much. I will see you in the next one. Blessings to you all. Bye.